The Clemson Tigers are the American football team at Clemson University. The Tigers compete in the NCAA Division I Football Bowl Subdivision (FBS) of the National Collegiate Athletic Association (NCAA) and the Atlantic Division of the Atlantic Coast Conference (ACC). Clemson was a college football playoff finalist in 2015, 2016, 2018, and 2019, winning the championship game over Alabama in 2016 and 2018. Clemson has had 6 undefeated seasons, 6 consecutive playoff appearances, 26 conference championships, and 8 divisional titles. Among its 8 undefeated regular seasons, Clemson was crowned per-year national champions and finished with its 3rd perfect season with a win over Nebraska in the 1982 Orange Bowl, and was the national championship finalist runner-up with a 14-1 record in 2015. Walter Merritt Riggs can be characterized as the father of Clemson football, as he brought the game with him from Agricultural and Mechanical College of Alabama, now Auburn University. Riggs allowed his players to pick the team mascot and, although he may have influenced their decision, the players chose Tigers because Princeton University had just won the national championship. When the Tigers traveled to Greenville on Halloween to play Furman in their very first match, only Coach Riggs and backfield player Frank Tompkins had ever seen a football game played.
They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that could make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous, but I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep chasing. I got all this potential that's deep inside of me, but they hate when you're successful cause they try to be. They sit there being judgmental because you're trying things, and they just want you to say.
Left Clemson to become the head coach at Georgia Tech, Shaq Shealy, and then for the Tigers in the 1890s. Coached the 1904 team to a 3-3-1 record, the only Clemson graduate ever to serve as head coach of his alma mater. Bob Williams, who beat Heisman in 1902, came to Clemson in 1906, and also coached the 1909 and 1913 to 1915 teams. The Tigers went undefeated with a 4-0-3 record in 1906. With wins over Georgia, Auburn, Tennessee, and the John Heisman-coached Georgia Tech team. Washington and Lee's Edward Donahue coached the Tigers to 21-12-3 record over 3 seasons, from 1917 to 1920. Doc Stewart coached the Tigers through the transition from the SEA to the Southern Conference, with a 6-10-2 record from 1921 to 1922. The Tigers also received their first bowl invitation and bowl victory that year, defeating nationally ranked Boston College 6-3 in the 1940 Cotton Bowl Classic. Known for his colorful persona and penchant for imaginative language with both probable and improbable stories, in his 30 years at Clemson, Howard compiled a 165-118-12 record, a 3-3 bowl record, won 2 Southern Conference championships, and 6 ACC championships. During his stay at Clemson, Howard also oversaw the athletic department, ticket sales, and was an assistant coach for the baseball team. The Tigers also won their second bowl game, a 1948 Gator Bowl win over Missouri, finished 11th in the national rankings, and Howard was named Southern Conference Coach of the Year. Howard nearly repeated the 1948 success in 1950 when the Tigers were ranked 10th by the Associated Press with a 9-0-1 season and a 15-14 win over Miami, Florida, in Clemson's first Orange Bowl win. In January 1952, after a 7-2 regular season campaign, the Tigers were invited back to the Gator Bowl, and by being conference champions once again in 1956, Clemson played in the 1957 Orange Bowl. Colorado led Clemson 20-0, then trailed 21-20, in a comeback game, before finally defeating the Tigers 27-21 in the 1957 Orange Bowl. Using some of the talent enrolled during the Parker seasons, Charlie Pell coached the Tigers for 2 seasons, winning the ACC Coach of the Year award twice and leading the Tigers to the 1978 ACC Championship en route to an 18-4-1 record. In both seasons, Clemson earned berths to the Gator Bowl, although Pell left before the latter game. The Tigers, who were unranked in the preseason, downed 3 top 10 teams, Georgia, North Carolina and Nebraska, during the course of the 12-0 season that concluded with a 22-15 victory over Nebraska in the 1982 Orange Bowl. From 1987 to 1990, Clemson posted 4 consecutive 10-win seasons and won 3 straight ACC titles, including a 35-10 victory over Penn State and a 13-6 defeat of Oklahoma in the 1989 Florida Citrus Bowl. Largely due to this discontent, school officials refused to grant him a 1-year extension on his contract after the 1993 season, even though the Tigers had rebounded from 5-6 in 1992 to an 8-3 record that year and were invited to the Peach Bowl. The purple home jerseys used by Clemson in special games made their debut during the 1991 ACC Championship season, with the Tigers wearing them in the regular season against North Carolina State and in the Citrus Bowl vs. Tommy West replaced Ken Hatfield at the end of the 1993 season, coaching the Tigers to a 14-13 victory in the 1993 Peach Bowl against Kentucky. The 1999 meeting between the Tigers and Seminoles was dubbed the Bowden Bowl and was the first time that a father and son coached against each other in Division I football. During Bowden's tenure, the Tigers were bowl eligible every season but didn't win any ACC championships. The 2004 team turned down a bowl invitation as punishment for a massive brawl during a game against the University of South Carolina. The same thing happened during the 2006 season following a 7-1 start and with the team on the verge of winning the ACC Atlantic Division. Following the departure of Tommy Bowden, wide receivers coach Dabo Swinney was dubbed interim head coach and led the Tigers to a 4-2 record, finishing the 2008 regular season at 7-6. Clemson went on to capture both their 5th straight ACC Atlantic Division and ACC Conference title, having defeated Virginia in the 2019 ACC Championship game by a score of 62-17. They defeated Ohio State by a score of 29-23, with Lawrence leading the team on a 94-yard drive culminating in a touchdown pass to Travis Etienne to take the lead in the end of the game and Buckeye quarterback Justin Fields throwing an interception in the Clemson end zone to seal the victory for the Tigers. In 2016 and 2018 they won the college football playoff, defeating Alabama in the CFP National Championship game both times. In 2005, the Atlantic Coast Conference divided into 2 divisions of 6 teams each and began holding an ACC championship game at the conclusion of the regular football season to determine the conference champion. On August 18, 2011, Georgia Tech vacated their 2009 ACC championship game victory over Clemson due to NCAA violations. Clemson was selected as the 1 seed in the second college football playoff and defeated the 4th seed Oklahoma on December 31, 2015 in the 2015 Orange Bowl. Between 1999 and 2007, the ACC Atlantic Division matchup between Clemson and Florida State was referred to as the Bowden Bowl to reflect the father-son head coach matchup between Bobby Bowden, father, FSU, and Tommy Bowden, son, Clemson. Also during this time the Tigers recorded a 27-20 win in Tallahassee in 2006 which broke a 17-year losing streak in Doak Campbell Stadium. When Georgia Tech joined the ACC in 1978, the series went to a more traditional home-and-home setup beginning with the 1983 game. When the ACC expanded to 12 teams and split into 2 divisions in 2005, Clemson and Georgia Tech were placed in opposite divisions but were designated permanent cross-divisional rivals so that the series may continue uninterrupted. Clemson's only regular season losses of the 1978, 1982, and 1991 campaigns all came at the hands of Georgia between the hedges, whereas Georgia's only regular season setback during the 3 years of the Herschel Walker era came in Death Valley during Danny Ford's 1981 national championship run. To be selected a consensus All-American, a player must be chosen to the first team on at least 3 of the 5 official selectors as recognized by the NCAA.